Hey guys, I'm Daisho and I am here playing some Magic, and this is the game from the drafts the draft video that I uploaded the other day, and this is round 1. There are 3 rounds in this tournament. It's not single elimination or anything, so you're definitely going to get to see a whole bunch of content, whether you like it or not. So anyway, I lead off with I was actually on a multi 6 here. I lead off with the Guild Gate into a Forest, into a Plains, into a Key Rune, and my opponent doesn't do anything on the first 2 turns. He just plays a Forest and a Plains. So this is going fine for me. He plays an Axebane Guardian. I know it's hard to see, but it's definitely an Axebane Guardian. Anyway, it's a pretty ideal start for me because when I'm on a multi 6 on the play, I kind of just don't want him to be really aggressive. Like if I was playing against Rakdos and he did like Rakdos Shred Freak into Dead Reveler, I don't really know if there would be a good way for me to recover from that, especially with just being able to play the Key Rune on turn 3. But being what his deck is and what my deck is, this is a pretty typical start, I think. You'll see what his deck is actually this turn. He's going to play another Axebane Guardian, and I think you guys can figure out what it is. He's just going with Defender Tribal, and he's going to make lots of mana and spend all that mana and do lots of crazy things. But he doesn't want to lose these Guardians, so I can definitely swing in with the Key Rune. Again, I just activated an attack. I don't remember exactly what I had in my hand at this point, but wow, there's a Sunspire Griffin too, so that's looking pretty good for me. My opponent is 3 color, so that is definitely going to come into play. Not really here because he led off with each of his colors in an Axebane Guardian, so he was basically able to cast whatever he wants, and Axebane Guardian's really good for that. Even if you don't want to do this super ramp thing, he's just good for fixing in general. So if you're running a 3-color deck, then you should definitely make sure to pick up or try to pick up one of these or something like that. But anyway, my opponent's already down to 14, and I'm looking pretty solid here until this turn, where he has 9 mana available to him, and he plays Runewing and a Knightly Valor. So now he's got a 4/4 Flying Vigilant. So my Sunspire Griffin's not doing anything, and my Key Rune's no longer doing anything. So that is really, really bad for me. And I mean, when you put Knightly Valor on a Runewing, there's really no good way of dealing with that. It's a 4/4 Flying Vigilance, so you have to deal with it or you die. And if you kill it, then they get to draw a card. Plus, they also get the 2/2 Knight, which just gets to stick around forever. So, not really a great situation for me. Me being in Selesnya, the only way that I could really deal with this beneficially would be to arrest his dude right now, and then that would be sweet if I had that, but I don't have any arrests in this deck, so not really looking too good for me. I guess I can, like, use some sort of naturalize. I don't know. I know that there's got to be some sort of enchantment removal. I mean, there's obviously Golgari Charm, and then the Keening Apparition, I think, is the 2/2 dude. But anyway, this turn I just decided to play a Wayfaring Temple. I've got a couple things in my hand that are pretty interesting, and the first thing to get out, I think that's good, or the first thing that I think is good to get out is this Wayfaring Temple. So he asked like how big my Wayfaring Temple was, so I moved my my Selesnya Key Rune over, and I mean I left the mana activation up, so I'm basically, he can't really attack with the 2/2. I mean, I guess I just had the 2/3, so that's not really relevant. But my dude has the potential to be a 3/3 right now, and he's just gonna. Man, he's going to tap both of his Axebane Guardians for 4 mana to cast a Skymark Rock, and then he's going to tap his 5 lands to cast a Golgari Longlegs. I had the Avenging Arrow for his Runewing, but as I said, well, he forgot to draw, but he'll draw right here. We can go back. Since it's just a casual tournament, we're allowed to miss triggers like that, and it's just being considerate to allowing him to draw the card. Like if In real tournaments, sure, he wouldn't be able to, but in a setting like this, you're definitely able to. So anyway, I was able to get rid of the Runewing, and that's pretty good for me, but he does still have that rock, and there's not really much I can do about it. So I make a pretty bold attack here, I think. I figured he'd just take it since it's 2 damage and I have nothing to populate, and then that would have been pretty sweet for me, but instead he decides to block with Golgari Longlegs, and then I have to make this play just to keep my Wayfaring Temple alive. It was pretty beneficial since I was able to get some tokens out of it and kill his Longlegs without losing my Wayfaring Temple, but I'm not really 100% sure if this was the right play. So I play Eyes in the Skies to get 2 birds, and I still only have 4 dudes. Even if I activate the Key Rune, my guy will die to the Golgari Longlegs. So instead I decide to play Rootborn Defenses to make my creatures indestructible. I also get an extra bird out of it, so that's pretty sweet. And yeah, so that's basically what happened. But he still's got cards in hand. He's got 2 X-Wing Guardians and a whole bunch of mana. He's got a 2/2 Knight and a Skymark Rock. So Skymark Rock is a pretty big deal, especially if I didn't have the Sunspire Griffin here. I wouldn't be able to deal with his Skymark Rock at all, and he'd just be able to swing in, kill one of my tokens, and then just, bad days. It would be bad days for Daisho. But luckily I do have the Sunspire Griffin, so if he attacks, then I can double block, and I'm basically just trading my Skymark Rock for his, or my Sunspire Griffin for his Skymark Rock, so that's pretty good for me. But yeah, it looks like he's got, what, 4 cards in hand, so that's really bad for him because I know he can cast anything in his deck. There's no way that he's got a spell that's more than, what, like 9 mana. That's what he's got now. So it's not looking good. And I think I was able to get a glance of his hand. It looked like he had a Horncaller's Chant in there, so he must have been thinking of playing it here. But he's just going to swing in with the Skymark Rock, make me pick up one of my birds, or it just dies. And here I make a pretty dumb play, I think. Well, actually, no, it was fine. In retrospect, it was good. Like, originally I thought it was a bad play, and then I thought it was a fine play, and then I thought it was bad. The thing that I'm playing around is a bounce spell, so if I double block, then he just bounces my Sunspire Griffin and he kills my tokens, and so if I triple block, I mean, but the double block was definitely the right way. So he plays a Doorkeeper basically for free because his Axebane Guardians now produce 1 more mana, so now he's still tapping for 8, and he gets the Horncaller's Chant, and that's why he still has 1 left. Now, next turn, he can produce, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So he can produce 11 mana next turn. Sorry about that. Anyway, he plays a Cellar of Songwords here, or I play a Cellar of Songwords here. It's an okay card. It's pretty good in the matchup, or not in the matchup, in the deck, because making Populate is just fun. I accidentally swing with all 3, but then immediately realize that one of them is summoning 6, so I pull it back. But I do attack with the Wayfaring Temple here. I don't think I have any cards in hand. Maybe keeping the Wayfaring Temple back to just block and try to deal with his board that way, or just at least prevent him from attacking would have been better. But for some reason, I feel like I need to just be really aggressive. Maybe it's just because he's got to have so much gas in his hand that even if I can beat the board or just slow down the board, then I'll still lose. But in retrospect, I think the play would have definitely been to just hold back with the Wayfaring Temple and just try to block his dudes and pick them off that way, as opposed to the other way, which I did do, which I still lost my Wayfaring Temple to a Rhino. I keep thinking they're Centaurs because the tokens that are there are Centaurs, but they're actually 4/4 Trampley Rhinos, so that's definitely relevant. But, I mean, I still have an imposing bird army. I'll kill him in a few turns at this rate, and it could be better if I draw some pump spells or a Phantom General or something like that. So that means that I actually do have a pretty good chance of winning here. Especially, it would have been a lot better if I had kept my dude alive. But now I know that he can't really attack either because he just loses his only populate target if he attacks, because I can just double block, trade my Key Rune, and I mean block with the Key Rune and the Cellar of Songwords, and then I just trade my Key Rune for his 4/4, so that's fine with me. But then he plays V2 Ghazi Guildmage, and if you read his bottom ability, it's 2 green-white populate. So that's a little bit Squadron Hawkward, and yeah. So he's going to play that thing, and I'm just going to double block. Obviously, he's just going to double pump, or not double pump, double populate, and I'm just counting his lands. I think he tapped too many. Looks like he tapped 10 lands. But, oh no, he tapped 2 for the Guildmage, and then he tapped 8 to make that. So he made 2 more Rhinos here, and I am in a very dire position. I'm still at 16 life, so I think pretty much my only out here is to just draw Phantom General this turn. I can't really think of any. I mean, actually, there was another way I could have drawn like Justani, swinging for 3, and then the next turn drawn like Giant Spider or something like that. I don't know. There's plenty of stuff that I could have done. And by Giant Spider, I mean Towering Indrik. It's the same card though, so it doesn't matter. But I don't draw any of that. All I do is just pass the turn back, and he's just like, I'll attack you. Everybody's going to get in there, and that's going to be bad for me. It's going to take me down to 2. I can't really jump off the Cellar. It doesn't really help at all, so may as well keep it around. But anyway, that's going to be it for me. I actually draw the Phantom General next turn, so I would have been able to take him down to 3 life if I had just played it out, but I held it in my hand because I didn't want to give him extra information. So anyway, that was the first game. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. I'm pretty busy, but hopefully I'll be back tomorrow with the next game. And yeah, that's about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.